Okay, that here go the after show. Boom. This is what
Welcome
it
to the
is.
after show, lady, where we keep it 100% real
Okay.
behind the scenes. You get what's really happening, and let's just tell the people what's going on, right?
What's going
So
on?
today we are recording, and as we were prepping, there was an earthquake in Oakland,
Yes, there was.
and so I'm not from here. I'm not from California. So these earthquakes, generally, I'm like cool, but like I felt it for real,
I was
right?
watching Dom on Zoom. She was like, wait.
Like it felt like someone had like hit the house or something. And so we share that to say that like what like after it happened, like we still were prepping and got into recording, but like in my head, like 50 million things started coming up, right? And this goes to the episode that we're going to do in the future about overthinking
Oh,
because
yes, girl.
because immediately I started thinking, oh, well, what happens? Like sometimes there's aftershocks, and so like then I found myself like bracing for like an
Hmm.
aftershock, and then like, well, what happens if it shakes again while we're recording? Like, what are we gonna? And I had to
Right.
like tell myself like, child, focus on what we're doing.
Yes.
You clearly didn't see that other earthquake coming, and you were fine.
Right,
So
right.
you
Said,
could be
child,
right.
you handled that like a champ though, because I sure ain't see. I wouldn't have ever guessed that you had all those thoughts. I know. I'm glad that you were okay, but I definitely saw your facial
Yes.
expression. I was like, "Is someone breaking into Dom's house? What's going on?" And then you told me, I
Right?
was like, "Oh!" And then we hopped right over to Twitter, and we were like, "Wait," because isn't
Twitter
it so
always
wild?
knows.
Twitter always knows.
Always
I typed in
knows.
earthquake, first thing, earthquake in Oakland. I was like, "All right, boom,
There we
there
go.
we go." Yeah, child, that's real life happening. I mean, we both
Yes.
had long days. We're recording. Then the baby who ate already thought she would be good. She needed to eat again, so that interrupted our recording. So I had to feed her. And Dom and I were like, okay, how are we gonna make this work? Because I mean, we want to be real, but we also don't. I don't think having a crying baby in the episode is gonna be a good listener experience. Like, it ain't that type of party. Yeah. So I'm like, we can be real, but I don't want y'all to be hearing her, feed and then the crying. It's like, no, that ain't cute. People got their own kids. They want to come to the podcast to escape,
Escape the kids.
not to
Yes.
hear more crying. So we're like, okay, how are we going to do this? So we made it work. But I think this was a good topic. I like learning more about the distinction between the two because I don't think I ever really thought about it that way. But I think the
Right.
articles are really helpful. And as I reflected on the topic, I was like, oh, it feels good to know that I'm also shifting
Oh,
in the way that I am choosing to show up. It's not easy though. It's really not,
it's
especially when you
not.
come from being a people pleaser. I like good vibes. Like I don't like tension. I know some people who
Right.
thrive on conflict. They're like, yo, I wake up ready for conflict. Like conflict turns me on. Some people are like that. And I'm just like, I'd much
Wow.
rather not. But
Right.
when it comes up, I'm kind of in this space where as difficult as it is, I will try to push myself and I'm like, okay, I gotta address this. So usually
Right.
therapy will really help out with that and like coaching, I'll
Definitely.
work with them on like, okay, what is the best strategy? And I like to write shit out. So I'm writing out like what I want to say. And it's a very tedious process to be constructive when it comes to
Yes.
conflict, but it's all part of our growth, right? Like life is not supposed to
Yes.
be easy.
No, it's not. And I think, what I appreciate about, what you said was that like it's a constant process and constant checking in with yourself, right? But the question that I had as you were talking was,
Yeah.
have you, as you've been evolving, right, and shifting into being kind versus nice,
Hmm.
have you gotten pushback from people who kind of have been familiar with you being like a people pleaser or being too nice?
Oh, that was a question. We should have covered that in the episode. That's a good
Right?
question.
Right? But it just came to me just
No,
now.
it's okay. No, it's good. It's good. This is why you part of the after show, lady.
Yes.
You getting the behind the scenes. I definitely have. I'm trying to think of if that's happened. I have. I've heard, people say things like, "Oh, you changing up," stuff like that. I've felt a vibe from people when I've set boundaries and put boundaries in place
Mhm.
where I've kind of gotten this vibe of like, oh, Terry is difficult to be like to work with. I mean, Dom, you not just because we get down with each other and we're right here,
Right.
but like I'm an easy person to work with because
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
are.
flexible. And Dom, I think I said this to you, but I'm a very easygoing person. However, when there are things that I really believe in, and I'm like, I may not do this often, but when there are things where I'm like, I really want to fight for this decision or this topic or whatever it might be, I'll let you know in whatever relationship or partnership that I'm in. And so I've definitely had a vibe from people where it's like, oh, she's like difficult, but no, I'm particular about my work. I have a certain standard for my brand and what my name is attached to. And so there are definitely situations where I felt people may look at me a little differently because I at one point was just this I want to please everyone kind of person. And then I transitioned
Mhm.
into I'm a businesswoman now and I have high standards. And if my standards aren't met, I'm going to continue to come back to you and demand, like, this isn't right. And I definitely have. And
Exactly.
sometimes it's uncomfortable for me. But
Yeah.
was that another earthquake?
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
We're good over here.
Okay. I say, hold up. And so I just, yeah, I got to a space where it's not easy, but it's necessary, and people have responded differently. What about you?
Yeah, as you were answering the question, I was like, I know I'm gonna have to answer my own question. Let me think about my answer.
Yes, girl.
And I think I can't recall any specific pushback from people,
Mm-hmm.
but what I noticed for myself was an overall shift in feeling good about all the
Yeah.
interactions.
Oh no, you were breaking up, Dom. You were breaking up. What'd you say?
Yeah. See, that's that internet technology not letting us be
I
great.
know. I
But
know. I know.
what I was saying is that what I noticed in myself is that I felt good
Right.
after the interactions, right? So even if, like you said, like there's times where I have to like talk to my therapist or consult my mentors on how to navigate the situation, right? And for
Mm-hmm.
strategy. And so then that helps ground me and center me. So then I can go into the situation, and then afterwards I can walk away feeling good about it
Yeah.
because I was true to myself.
Yes, girl.
And
Yeah.
if being true to myself means, like, if I'm operating from a kind space and being true to myself, that means that I am really honoring what I need in that space and acknowledging, like, what it looks like specifically for me, right, is that, like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna honor what I need in that space, acknowledge that my role in my family system had traditionally been like the caretaker,
Yeah.
and so that I might show up in situations and want to caretake
Yes.
even if it's not in my best interest.
Exactly.
And so for me, what kindness really looks like is stepping back and acknowledging for myself when I am stepping when I'm being caretaker, and when does it really feel appropriate
Mm-hmm.
to be kind
Yeah.
versus am I stepping into my family system caretaker role? Does that make sense?
That makes sense, and 2 things came to mind, Dom. One is I believe in my experience, I sleep better at night when I do advocate for myself in that way. Now when I
Mhm.
don't, I feel convicted in a way, and it eats me up
Yeah.
on the inside, and now I'm thinking about it all the
Mhm.
time. I'm thinking about the conversation I wanna have with them, and then I'm gonna say this super fast because I didn't wanna forget. The one thing I wanted to say about you is what you shared makes sense, and I think that being kind I think that you can be kind, although other people may not realize it as kindness. Like you putting
Right.
yourself first, you not being the caretaker, you setting boundaries. I think that's still being kind because what you're
Yeah.
doing is you're presenting people with an opportunity to grow and to get their own shit together without Dom having to come in and save them. And they may
Yeah.
not recognize that as being kind. But in the grand
Right.
scheme of things, like in the bigger picture, yeah, it is. I don't know. That's how I
Exactly.
see it.
I think Zara agrees with us.
Yes,
Yes.
I think so. Well, this was a good after show, lady. I think baby's getting restless and I think we nailed this topic. So lady, we
Yes,
hopefully
we
you
did.
enjoyed the after show.
All right.